Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to paint a dolphin with acrylic paints. And if you want to paint along with me, you can find a link to the sketch in the description below, as well as the colors that I'm going to be using and the brushes. So let's get started. And let's start with a size 0 round brush. This is a great brush for putting in details. And let's start by putting in some black into the pupil. Just a little piece of black. And then let's pick up the white right away and put that in as the highlight of the eye. Just a little dot. Okay, so now let's take some of this light blue color. It's kind of like a sky blue, and let's put that around the eye. Okay, and then around that we can put, let's use a mid-tone gray, and then carefully feather around that eye. You can kind of turn the paper if you need to get closer to your painting. Okay, just a simple eye. And then I'm going to take some white paint and try to put a little bit of an eyelid. Maybe over the top and then along the bottom. Okay, and now let's put a darker gray color. So I have this mid-tone gray, just a value step down. Let's start putting that around the eye, kind of where there's a dark shadow. Then you could take some lighter gray and put that in between. All right, you can see how that comes together pretty easily. And now let's take some black paint and put that in along the mouth area. So just do a little line there for the mouth. Pretty easy. Okay. And now let's start working along the face. So I'm going to take the dark gray and let's put that over here. And then we can go around the outside edge with this dark color. Then pick up the lighter gray and see if you can start putting that in next to the darker gray. Light gray. And sort of let that blend together. Okay, pick up the light gray and continue to blend that in. You could pick up some white and feather that in as a highlight. Okay, so now let's work on the mouth area. So I'm going to take some dark gray, put that around the outside edge of the mouth, and then take some light gray and then put that in. See if you can put that in and still allow that little line in the mouth to show through. Okay, just like that. And then let's try to do that along the bottom side. So I'll put some dark gray at the bottom of the mouth. And then pick up the lighter gray and put that in along the bottom. I want a little bit of a lighter color underneath the bottom part of the mouth. Just add a little bit more white to your paint. Okay, and sort of feather that down. Okay, so then you can see how the head is starting to come together. I put some darker gray up here and then some lighter gray. Okay, so we'll probably be switching to a larger brush. But before we do that, you can use the small brush to paint in the fins. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of black Then let's go around the bottom of the tail. Then I'm going to pick up some gray, and you want to feather that on top of the black. Allow the colors to blend together. And then pick up the lighter gray. Start putting that in. Go dark, and then get even lighter in the middle so you can pick up white. And add that in, okay? And then let's do that same thing on the left side. So we'll put a little bit of black and then the darker gray. Feather that in. And then I'm gonna pick up more black and make a little bit of a shadow here. You can follow along with that sketch to see where that shadow is gonna be. And then I'm putting in the dark gray and then the lighter gray. And then some white. And then sort of blend that together so it looks nice and soft. So just go over it with your brush to make sure everything is blended. Okay, and then we can do these flippers here. So we can take a little bit of black, put that around this edge, and then switch to the dark gray. Start putting that around. Nice and easy in there. And then some light gray. That's gonna start getting lighter as we get into the center of this shape. Even lighter and even lighter. Okay, and then let's do this flipper here at the bottom. So take a little bit of black paint, put that along the edge, then pick up the dark gray, start feathering that in as well. Then you can pick up the light gray, and then in the center, pick up some white. That'll give you a nice highlight in the center. Then you can sort of blend that. You can remove some excess paint from your brush if you want to, and then use the brush to blend that nicely together. Okay, it's pretty simple. And then we will do this fin up here. So we'll take black, put that along the top, and then take this mid-tone gray and come down. And then we want to get lighter over in this section, so you can add some white and maybe mix some white with this mid-tone gray. Then put that in. You could try to do that with one stroke, push down with a little bit of pressure. Okay, that makes a nice highlight. Okay. So now let's work on the rest of the body, and to do that you can switch to a larger brush. I'm going to use a size 6 filbert brush here. And let's put some of this mid-tone gray. I'm going to go around the eye and then down this way. Here it's a little bit lighter, so we'll leave that. And then pick up some light gray. Sort of go around this way. I'm going to bring, we can actually add this darker gray here in the middle. And then we're going to work on blending some colors here. So I'm going to grab the light blue, and we can put this along the back edge. And then even up here we have some light blue. Kind of the reflection of the water can create different shadow colors. I'm going to take the light gray and start putting that in. Okay. And then down here we can have some blue. And then we might want to add a little bit of this beige color as well. Get a nice variety of color. I think I'm going to spray the paper so that everything's flowing a little bit easier. Okay, and then I'm going to take some white and start putting that in where this highlight is. Then I'm going to put some white under here, underneath that belly. Okay, and you can come all the way up, so this white is coming all the way under his mouth here. And we could put a little bit along the top of the mouth for a highlight, a little bit over there. Then I'm going to bring the white up here. So we have a bit of a highlight above his head. I'm going to rinse off the brush and then put some light gray color around that. See if we can get it to blend in a little bit better. Okay, so then at this stage, you want to go back and sort of clean up any whites of the paper, any edges that look a little bit too harsh. I might put some more of a white highlight back in. Okay, then I'm going to come back around the top of the head, put in some dark shadow, and sort of clean up that edge. And clean up the mouth area too. Okay, you want pretty crisp edges around the mouth. Okay, I'm going to bring a little bit more blue over here. Get some nice blended color. Okay, so then you want to step back and look at your work, see if there's any adjustments that need to be made. I think I need to kind of fix some of my lines here. Just go back. Sometimes you have to go back and get some crisper edges. I'm going to do that with the fin. Just make sure these edges are nice and crisp. It's going to give a more professional look. Okay, maybe over here. Just smooth things out. Okay, and then I want to sort of, let's actually add a little bit more black to the mouth. We lost that shadow a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of water onto the brush so that I can get a crisper line. Takes a lot of coordination. Just carefully get that line there. Okay, so I think this is looking good. This is bleeding a little bit, so if that happens, you can just grab a tissue or a dry brush and you should be able to pick up the paint with your brush or a tissue. Okay, so let's add a little bit of this burnt sienna into the eye. I want to add a little bit of variation of color there. We'll work on the eye to see if we can make it a little bit more realistic and make it stand out some more. But if we take some black and some gray, create a little bit darker of an eyelid, and then underneath. Okay, I just want it to, let's bring this line down Just want it to be a little more expressive. Okay, so you can do multiple layers with acrylic. It's one of the great things about acrylic. So you can always go back and put in more layers. Okay, don't be afraid to do that. And then I'm going to rinse the brush and let's sort of feather that shadow out so that's a little softer. These underwater creatures, everything looks diffused underwater, so there's a lot of blending that you can do with this subject. Okay, and then let's take some light gray. See if we can put a little bit of a highlight. Sort of a eyelid here. Really carefully, and then underneath. Okay, I think that helped. All right, so let's put a little bit of a darker shadow over here underneath this fin here. I think it needs a little more shadow. So I'll take that dark gray and try to let that sort of stand out. Okay. Let's bring a little bit of shadow underneath the mouth here. And you could add some blue to this area underneath the mouth as well, or underneath the chin. That way the blue is kind of flowing throughout the piece and it's not just stuck in one area. So that can help you. Okay, so you could add some final highlights if you wanted to. Let's see if there's any. Maybe try some white, remove some of the excess paint. And we could put a highlight here. Just sort of dry brush that highlight in. Just sort of brushing it. Okay, and then maybe over here we could put a little bit of a highlight with some dry brushing. And then maybe over here, can bring back the highlight here. And in the fin, sometimes your highlights sort of disappear with acrylic paint. So at the end, you can sort of go back and dry brush some of those highlights back in if you lose them. Okay, just try not to overdo it too much. Okay, all right, so I think we will call this painting complete. Thank you so much for painting along with me. Like and subscribe for more tutorials. If you want to improve your painting skills, grab my free guide in the description below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!